Long ago, in a quiet little town where the rooftops sloped like folded paper and the chimneys puffed smoke like sleepy giants, lived two children named Gerda and Kai. They were not siblings, but they loved each other as dearly as if they shared the same heart. Their homes stood opposite each other, and from their rooftops grew two small gardens high above the bustling street.
Imagine the adventures beyond the town. We'll go everywhere.
In summertime, their roses bloomed together, leaning across the gutter as though exchanging secrets. Every morning they would climb up to their gardens, watch the golden sun rise over the rooftops, and whisper about the wonderful things they would someday see beyond their little town. Kai was bright and bold, with eyes that shone like clear ice. Gerda was gentle and warm, with a smile that melted even the grumpiest neighbor's heart. Together, they were inseparable.
Look how bright it is already. It feels like the whole world is waking up just for us.
Far from the town, hidden behind icy mountains, lived a wicked old sorcerer who delighted in mischief. He crafted a mirror unlike any other, one that twisted everything beautiful into ugliness and magnified the worst of all things. A kind face became hideous. A blooming flower shriveled into rot. A peaceful meadow became a barren wasteland. The mirror reflected not truth, but cruelty. The sorcerer and his goblin helpers laughed as they used the mirror to mock the world.
It works perfectly!
Hooray! It's wonderfully wicked!
One day, they tried to carry it high into the sky, thinking they might even mock the angels. But the mirror slipped. It fell, shattered against the earth, and scattered into thousands of tiny, invisible shards. Some pieces were no bigger than grains of sand. When these lodged themselves in a person's heart, that heart turned cold and unfeeling. When they slipped into a person's eyes, everything beautiful appeared dull and worthless. The wind scattered these cruel shards across the world. One winter evening, as Gerda and Kai sat together by the window, the first snowflakes began to drift down.
The snow fairies are dancing tonight, Kai. Look how they sparkle.
They pressed their noses to the glass, marveling at the delicate crystals. "Snowflakes are like little bees of winter," said Gerda. "Each one is different, yet all just as beautiful." Kai laughed. "No two alike, grandmother told me so." But then a sudden gust of icy wind blew against the window. Kai blinked and cried out softly, hands flying to his face. "What is it?" Gerda asked, alarmed. "Nothing, just something in my eye," Kai muttered, rubbing it. But it was not nothing. A shard from the wicked mirror had pierced his eye, and another had lodged in his heart. At first, Gerda saw only a flicker of change, a shadow crossing his warm, bright gaze. But day by day, the cold spread. Kai grew sharp-tongued. He mocked the roses, calling them ugly. He grew irritated with Gerda's kindness, pushing her away. The warmth in him dimmed like a candle in a storm. Gerda cried, but Kai only shrugged. "It's no use crying over silly things," he snapped, his eyes strangely glittering. Winter deepened. One night, Kai sat alone by the window, staring at the swirling snow. He imagined the snowflakes as armies of tiny, perfect warriors, cold, flawless, beautiful in their hardness. The wind curled around him. The snowflakes danced into shapes, then into a towering woman clad in shimmering frost. Her gown glittered like frozen starlight. Her crown shone with icy brilliance. She was the Snow Queen, ruler of the northern ice, colder than winter itself. "Come with me, Kai," she whispered. "I will show you worlds of frozen perfection, no pain, no sorrow, only crystal clarity." Her breath frosted the window. Kai, ensnared by the mirror shard in his heart, felt no fear, only awe. He opened the window. She leaned in, kissed him on the forehead. Her kiss was like stepping into a frozen lake, painful for a moment, then numbing everything. Kai climbed onto her sleigh. Wrapped in her icy embrace, he was carried high into the sky, away from the town, away from Gerda. Gerda waited the next morning, but Kai never came home. When Kai did not return for days, the townspeople whispered many things. He drowned in the river, he ran away, he froze in the snow. Gerda would not believe any of them. "I know he lives," she declared. "My heart tells me so." And so, with only her red shoes and her unshakable love, she set out to find him. Spring melted the snow, roses bloomed again, and Gerda's journey began. She walked along the riverbank and offered the river her shoes, asking if it had carried Kai away. The shoes floated on the current, but the river returned them to her feet, as if saying it had nothing to give. Undaunted, she stepped into a small boat tied nearby, but the current loosened the rope and the boat drifted away, carrying her unknowingly towards the wide world. Gerda drifted until the river brought her to a charming cottage covered with flowers. An old woman lived there, a witch, though not wicked, merely lonely. Seeing Gerda, she took pity and brought her inside, brushing her hair with a golden comb. But the comb was enchanted. Gerda began to forget her mission, forget Kai, forget everything except the flowers in the witch's endless garden. Time passed without her noticing, until one day she saw a rose blooming on a bush that had somehow survived the witch's magic. The sight of the rose, their shared flower, shocked her memory back to life. "Kai!" she cried. "I must find Kai!" The garden's flowers whispered to her that Kai was not buried in the earth, nor trapped underground. He lived, but they knew not where. Gerda thanked them and ran onward, leaving the garden behind. In a dark forest, Gerda met a crow who told her of a young prince who resembled Kai. Her heart leaped, and she followed the crow to a grand palace. A kind princess and prince welcomed her, but the prince was not Kai. Still, moved by her courage, they gave her warm clothes, a golden carriage, and food for the journey. Gerda pressed on, but thieves attacked her carriage. A fierce robber girl took Gerda captive. She was wild as a storm, but had eyes full of curiosity. "Why wander the world alone, little lamb?" she demanded. Gerda told her everything, her love for Kai, his disappearance, her journey.
"Kai was my best friend. The Snow Queen took him. I've come a long way to find him."
Something in the robber girl softened. "You are brave," she muttered, "too brave to die here." She gave Gerda a reindeer named Bay, who knew the northern lands well. "Go find your friend," the robber girl said, "and do not forget me." The reindeer carried Gerda across frozen lakes, rushing winds, and into the white silence of winter. The wise women of the north. They reached the home of an ancient Lapp woman who repaired the reindeer's strength and warmed Gerda by a fire. She sent them further north to a wise Finn woman who knew the Snow Queen's lands. The Finn woman read the wind and said,
"Gerda, you have no magic, but your heart is stronger than spells. Now go, northward to the Snow Queen."
She gave Bay instructions and sent Gerda onward. The Snow Queen's palace rose from the tundra like a mountain of pure crystal, sharp and glittering, endless and cold. Snowflakes tall as humans guarded the gates. Gerda shivered, her breath turning to diamonds, but she whispered, "I will not leave him." Inside, the palace was vast and silent. Wind howled through the frozen halls, echoing like distant screams. Far within, on a frozen lake shaped like a giant mirror, sat Kai. He was pale, motionless, arranging fragments of ice into intricate patterns. His eyes were empty. The shard in his heart had locked him in permanent
Kai!
winter.
Oh, please look at me. Don't you remember me?
He did not see Gerda. He did not hear her. She ran to him, threw her arms around him, and cried. Her warm tears fell on his chest, burning like tiny suns. One tear seeped into his heart and melted the cruel shard. Another fell into his eye and dissolved the splinter lodged in it. Kai blinked. His eyes softened. "Gerda," he whispered. "Gerda, is it really you?" She sobbed with joy. Kai began to cry too. His tears melted the ice around him. The Snow Queen was far to the north that moment, commanding a storm. She returned to find the lake cracked, Kai free, and Gerda holding his hand. But she could not touch them, for the warmth of their love blazed brighter than any magic she possessed. And so the Snow Queen retreated, her power fading before the fire of their hearts. Bay carried them southward. As they traveled, winter softened into spring. Forests bloomed, rivers sparkled. Gerda and Kai grew stronger with every mile. They visited the Finn woman, the Lap woman, and even the robber girl, who hugged them both roughly and pushed them onward. Finally, they reached their town. Summer roses bloomed on their rooftops once more.
Never lose your bravery. Stay alive, little lambs.
Gerda and Kai climbed to their old gardens. The world was just as it had been, yet they felt older, wiser, and closer than ever. "Gerda," Kai whispered, "I remember everything." She smiled and took his hand. And though many years passed, though childhood gave way to adulthood, they never forgot the journey that proved love, pure, loyal, and brave, can melt even the coldest winter.
Do you remember the time we snuck up here to watch the stars?
And you nearly fell trying to grab a rose for me. Look just like this.